How's it going, everybody? I'm meteorologist Joey Cragness back with your daily forecast. We have some more severe weather in store for us today out in the Ohio River Valley. All hazards possible. It is a lower end threat. Got some messy convection going on, but it could see some damaging wind, tornadoes, and possibly some hail out of some of those storms. And then as that system moves offshore, we're expecting a fairly quiet weekend up until the next system is expected to move through on Monday. And that could bring some severe weather to the Central Plains and then up a little bit more towards the Midwest as that system continues to track off to the northeast on Tuesday. Checking out our storm reports for yesterday, a couple of tornadoes reports out near Lake Charles, some hail. Mainly wind was the big threat yesterday. Had a nice little bow echo moving across the Gulf Coast for a good chunk of the first half of the day. Yesterday, a couple of tornado reports out near Mobile, some hail out there as well. Not super big hail, but just enough out there to make some hail swaths out in those areas, and then some more sub-severe wind reports out in the panhandle of Florida yesterday. So right now, that system that brought us that wind yesterday, kicking up some tornadoes in Florida this morning, had one confirmed fairly large tornado south of Jacksonville, have another confirmed tornado warning north of Tampa, and then another tornado warning just north of Daytona Beach. So pretty active this morning, but this little line should be moving offshore and weakening over the next 2 to 3 hours, moving offshore. But then our focus shifts to Ohio and West Virginia, kind of the main focus for later this afternoon. We have this nice big trough setting up over the eastern half of the U.S., some warmer temperatures kicking up behind that trough, cooler temperatures right underneath there. So got 50s, lower 60s out there underneath that trough, and then 60s and 70s out behind it as that next system is setting up to move in, sitting right off the coast right now, the Pacific Northwest. That should be moving on shore later on between the Saturday-Sunday time frame. This is what we're looking at for instability later on this afternoon, expecting to kind of bubble up into the Appalachians later on this afternoon, and then it'll die down pretty quickly as we go into the later evening hours. Not too much storm activity, so it's mainly a mid to late afternoon, early evening threat for those storms out in the Ohio River Valley today. Looking at the significant tornado parameter, there is this little bit of a bubble in the Carolinas that pops up later on this afternoon. Not expecting too much out of that environment out there, just with the way that the convection is lining up right now. The Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia area is the main focus for those larger storm possibilities later on this afternoon and evening. And then going into the radar here, you can see just how messy all of this convection is. So these are going to be very disorganized storms. If we can get some storms to pop up in the clearer regions of like West Virginia, those could produce some hail and some damaging wind gusts, maybe a tornado or two out there as well. But like I said, lower end threat today, just with how messy this convection is. Going into later on this afternoon and evening, there's some strong cells that begin to pop up along the West Virginia-Ohio border. Some isolated cells in the Carolinas, those might produce some hail. Not expecting too much out of those right now, but that possibility is still there with some of those more isolated storms as we go into the evening hours. And then this system tracks off to the northeast pretty quickly, becoming just mainly a precipitation, maybe flash flooding threat for portions of the northeast. So this is what we got for our hail map today. Like I said, mainly that Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia area. right now, the main cities we're looking at, Charleston, West Virginia, Columbus, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, are the three major metro areas that we're keeping an eye on for the possibility for hail later on this afternoon and evening. Wind threat over a good chunk of the eastern U.S. With just how disorganized those storms are. So this is kind of what we're expecting for the cities. The threat for storms in southern Georgia and Florida dying down over the next couple of hours, but then starting to ramp up for the northern East Coast and Ohio River Valley later on this afternoon. So just when the Florida threat dies down, that's when the threat for the Ohio River Valley is going to start picking up again. So tornado threat, I'm not putting Florida on there right now because that's ongoing. But this is what is going on this afternoon. Charleston and Pittsburgh, still kind of the main two areas that we're looking at for that possible tornado threat. It is very conditional. If we can get isolated storms in that environment, it is looking like pretty favorable for tornadoes out there. But just the big question is, can we get those isolated storms to develop? And that's not looking super favorable right now, but it is still a possibility. So this is what we got for our jet stream. Got this nice jet streak and trough on the East Coast. That's going to move off pretty quickly. We could get another little bubble of low-end severe weather later on tomorrow afternoon in the Carolinas area. But this is the next system that we're tracking that could bring us some pretty substantial severe weather the beginning of next week. That's going to track into the western U.S. and central plains there on Monday. This should provide enough lift and wind shear to kick off some storms in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, possibly all the way up to Nebraska and Iowa on Monday. And then as this system tracks up to the northeast on Tuesday, that's when that severe threat for the upper Midwest comes on Tuesday morning through afternoon. Central Illinois possibly could get some severe weather on Tuesday and into Wednesday as the system continues to track off to the northeast. It does weaken a little bit, so the threat for severe weather in the Midwest is going to be a little bit lower on Tuesday than it will be for the Central Plains on Monday. But then we get this little short wave that pops up behind it on Wednesday, so we could get another wave of severe weather for the Central Plains as that system continues to track into the Great Lakes region on Thursday. So we could have several rounds of severe weather starting on Monday next week all the way through Thursday and Friday next week, potentially being pretty substantial severe threats out there. So forgot to change the dates on those, but 6 to 10 days out, this is what we're looking at for our extended precip outlook. Above average precipitation expected for the Ohio River Valley and Great Lakes region, as well as the most of the central U.S. Below average for the West Coast out there and Florida, even though they're getting a good amount of rain right now. This is what we got for temperatures here. Above average temperatures for the eastern half, below average for the western half. We're going to expect to see this nice trough set up over the western U.S. That's what's bringing those colder temperatures out in Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, that area, and the ridge setting up over the East Coast, bringing those above average temperatures for the eastern half of the U.S. And then this is what we have for Monday right now. We could see this threat expand a little bit, but right now it's looking like the bullseye is going to be somewhere in central Kansas, Oklahoma, and a very small portion of northern Texas. That's at least what it looks like right now for the severe potential. We're still expecting this to change quite a bit over the next coming days as we get some more high resolution models to start picking up on this system. Right now we only have the long range, low resolution models to go off of to do our forecasting for Monday, but we'll find out more information as we get a little bit closer to the beginning of next week. That's all we got for now. If you're interested in learning more about us and keeping up to date on all we do, go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, or if you're interested in purchasing a plan, go ahead and scan that QR code up above me, or give us a call at 855-334-4245, email us at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Joey Cragness. Thanks for watching.